Hi guys, this is O-Level Chemistry, paper 11, November 2015, question 21. Which statement about graphite is not correct? It burns to form carbon dioxide? Yes, this statement is correct because carbon is the only element that graphite is composed of, because graphite is an allotrope of carbon. So when it will burn in oxygen, the only product would be carbon dioxide. Next, it is a carbon compound. No, it is the carbon element itself. It is one of the allotropes of carbon, one of the allotropes which includes diamond and graphite. So it is pure carbon, it is not a compound of carbon. Next, it is a giant molecular substance. Yes, it is a covalent macromolecule made up of carbon atoms. It is used as a lubricant. Yes, because layers of graphite are able to slide over one another, which makes it useful as an industrial lubricant. So it is used where machineries have moving parts to lubricate them. Therefore, the only statement incorrect about graphite is that it is a carbon compound, making option B the correct option for this question. Question 22. Ammonium nitrate is an artificial fertilizer produced from ammonia. What is an advantage of using ammonium nitrate as a fertilizer? It contains a large percentage of nitrogen. Ammonium nitrate would contain a large percentage of nitrogen because it has got two nitrogen atoms in the entire structure. The cation and the anion both have one nitrogen atom present. So it does contain a large percentage of nitrogen by mass. It gives off ammonia gas. It will give off ammonia gas when it would react with a base, and that is not its use as a fertilizer. So this statement is correct, but it is not an advantage of using it as a fertilizer. Nitrates are insoluble. No, all nitrates are soluble. Nitrates can cause eutrophication. This statement is 100% correct, but it is not the reason why ammonium nitrate is used as a fertilizer. Therefore, option A is the correct option for this question. Question 23. Four metals and hydrogen are arranged in order of decreasing reactivity. Which statement about these elements is correct? Aluminum is formed when aluminum oxide is heated with hydrogen. No, aluminum oxide will not be producing aluminum on heating with hydrogen because hydrogen is less reactive than aluminum, so it will not displace aluminum in its oxide. Next, copper displaces zinc from zinc sulfate. Copper is less reactive than zinc. It will not displace zinc from its solution of zinc sulfate. Copper is formed when copper 2 oxide is heated with hydrogen. Yes, copper is less reactive than hydrogen. Therefore, hydrogen will displace copper from its oxide, producing copper metal and releasing steam. When added to water, aluminum forms positive ions more readily than potassium. Aluminum is amphoteric in nature. It does not react with water. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 24. Which pair of substances react to form a salt and water only? A. Aqueous sodium chloride and aqueous silver nitrate. So when sodium chloride reacts with silver nitrate, it results in the formation of silver chloride and sodium nitrate, both of which are salts, and no water is produced here. In the next reaction, sodium hydroxide and dilute ethanoic acid are reacting. So NaOH, when it reacts with CH3 COOH, it would result in the formation of sodium ethanoate, which is CH3 COO minus Na plus, which is a salt, and it produces water. So the product of this reaction are salt and water. Next, aqueous sodium carbonate, which is Na2CO3, when it reacts with sulfuric acid H2SO4, this would result in the formation of sodium sulfate, which is a salt. It would produce water, but it would also release carbon dioxide gas, which is not stated in the question. And the last one, we have zinc metal reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid. When this reaction occurs, zinc chloride will form, which is a salt, but water will not form. Instead, hydrogen gas will be given off, making this reaction incorrect as well. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question 25. An element is burnt in an excess of oxygen. Which statement about the oxide formed is always correct? The mass of the oxide formed is greater than the mass of the element burned. Yes, this is true. Let's take the example of carbon burning in oxygen producing carbon dioxide. The mass of carbon is 12, whereas the mass of carbon dioxide is 44. This is because two oxygen atoms have added onto carbon, forming the compound carbon dioxide. So this statement is correct. Next, the oxide formed is a crystalline solid. Using CO2 as an example, it is a gas, it is not a solid. So it is not necessary that the oxide form would be a crystalline solid. Next, the oxide formed is soluble in water. So this is an oxide which is partially soluble in water. However, we have certain oxides like Fe2O3, iron 3 oxide, which are insoluble in water. So not all oxides formed would be soluble. And then we have oxide formed is white in color. Carbon dioxide is a colorless gas, whereas Fe2O3 is a red brown solid. So we have two examples here in which the white color of the solid is non-existent. Either we have no color as in the case of CO2, or we have a red brown or a rust color as in the case for Fe2O3, making this statement incorrect as well. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option A. Question 26. Which reaction does not involve neutralization? So the first reaction has an acid, sulfuric acid, which is there in all the four reactions. So all of them involve the presence of an acid. So we will have to check what it is reacting with. So in the case of A, it is reacting with ammonia, which is a base. So this is an acid-base reaction. So this will be a neutralization reaction. In the second case, this reacts with BaCl2 aqueous. This is a soluble salt. So an acid reacting with a soluble salt to form an insoluble salt, and another acid. So this is not an acid-base reaction. In the third case, we've got sulfuric acid reacting with CuO, producing CuSO4, which is a salt, and water. So CuO is acting as a base in this reaction. So this is a neutralization reaction. And in the last case, we've got the acid reacting with NaOH. NaOH is definitely a base, and it produces NaCl, Na2SO4, sorry, which is a salt, and H2O, which is water. So this is a neutralization reaction as well, making option B the correct option for this question. Question 27. Which element described in the table is a transition metal? So properties are listed. So number of oxygen state, transition metals have variable oxygen state, which means they will have greater than one. So this eliminates option A. Next, colored compounds. So transition elements do form colored compounds. So this eliminates option B. Next, melting point. Melting point is high for transition elements. So this eliminates option D. And density of transition elements in transition metals is also high, making option C the correct option for this question. Question 28. Three different elements react by losing electrons. The ions formed all have the electronic configuration 2,8, which means their third shell became empty or the second shell completely filled. Which statement about these elements is correct? Okay, they have said that three different elements react by losing electrons. So all of them have their third shell being completely emptied. The second shell filling would result in the formation of anions, not cations. So this is a question pertaining to cations of period 3 because the third shell becomes empty. Which statement about these elements is correct? They are in the same group? No, they are not in the same group. They are all in period 3. They are in the same period? Yes, which is period 3. They are noble gases? No, noble gases do not need to lose electrons to gain a noble gas configuration. And they are transition elements? No, period 3 does not have transition elements present in it. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question 29. An alloy of aluminum is used in the construction of aircraft. Why is pure aluminum never used? Pure aluminum cannot be manufactured. Pure aluminum is extracted, but we can obtain pure aluminum. So this is not the reason why it is not used. Pure aluminum conducts electricity. All forms of aluminum would conduct. Even if it's an alloy with another metal, it would conduct electricity. So this is not the reason why it is not used. Pure aluminum is less dense than its alloys. Uh, this cannot be the reason why it is not used. And pure aluminum is less. If it would have been less dense, then it would have definitely been used because we need material that is less dense in construction of aircraft. And pure aluminum is too malleable. Yes, we have aluminum foil present, which we can actually turn into various shapes by just crushing it in our hands. So it is too malleable. So it cannot serve as the construction material for aircraft, which needs to be hard. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option D. Question 30. What happens when a strip of silver is immersed in an aqueous solution of copper 2 sulfate? So now we have silver and copper metals present. So both are less reactive than hydrogen. However, silver is even less reactive than copper. So when we place a strip of silver metal in a solution of copper sulfate, silver being less reactive than copper will not displace it in its ionic salt solution. So the options are bubbles of gas will appear, no, reaction will not occur. No reaction occurs, yes. Pink copper will be deposited on the silver strip, no reaction is occurring. The silver strip will start to dissolve, no reaction is occurring. Therefore, B is the correct option for this question.